Nothing has
Alright, that
changed
was
for the
fun.
fourth time tonight. Hello and welcome to the Overwatch Oasis League. Whoo! Now we're
Am I
live
still,
chat.
uh, Charles, I'm gonna make you owner of the game.
No, please don't, because I'm really bad at lobbies and need to do most of the talking.
Okay, well I have to
Mm,
set the map. Busan, you said?
Yep, it is Busan. And then
I
we
probably
got,
should have done that already.
yep, no worries, it happens. Fenton over to the red team, and we should be ready to go. Chat, thank you so much for bearing with us in these difficult times, these trying times, these unprecedented times. I'm open to suggestions as to other adjectives to put here. I'm just a little bit flustered right now, but we're back. We're back.
Oh my goodness. Oh, all right.
Alright, here we go.
A little bit of difficulty there, but we got it back now.
Well, like I was saying, I don't know if it got in the stream, but we were talking about how one of these maps downtown is a lot of dive oriented, and I said that neither team really runs a lot of dive. I mean, Prophetic is known a lot for his Orisa play, and less about the not very much Winston. And here we do see him picking that Orisa instantly. Kakashi baiting the Torbjorn.
Or the Sigma, they're fine.
Okay. It's gonna be
Siren,
tough for
can you do me a favor and remind me? Oh, sorry, Bleem. Can you test pause?
Yes. Should be one of your analogs.
Well, no, Bleem's leader, so Bleem can test pause.
I do not have it on.
Fair enough.
I can probably find it soon
Okay.
before it matters.
You can also give it to me as well because we have ours figured out.
Oh no, I'll just find it real quick.
It might not work because this account's Overwatch is really iffy because Overwatch is upset that we only have like the dozen or so buttons that we have on the PlayStation 4. But here it is. So we got NAL running with the double barrier here on Mecha base, which is something that we see really often as Valkyries over here got to go fast. Senpai Danny on the Lucio with the Rhine of Roadhog composition, rushing directly to this high ground on the bridge over here. As Sakura Sox chunks a lot of damage here, but still manages to stay healthy right at the end.
Wish Queen got found out of position earlier there. That's gonna be very important, especially against this double shield. That Junkrat spam is massive.
Well, the wall comes out from Mr. Link, doesn't quite find anybody though, as Kakashi is now dropping on point, charges towards Prophetic One, doesn't land any pins over here, swinging away now as, oh my goodness, beautiful work from NA Alter as they all flow into this room, laying in the hurt, and Kakashi gets destroyed. The aggression that we see there is not something you usually associate with a double barrier composition, but Big O Takino with the speed boost and everybody just piling in and laying in the damage onto Kakashi over here as the NA Alt earn a very dominant first point.
What I think is interesting, we're seeing pretty much a brawl comp besides the tanks. You know, Moira,
Right.
Lucio, May Reaper, but double shield along with that.
Yeah, and Young Habibi getting absolutely deleted here. Great wall coming out from Mr. Link, and Habibi just a little bit careless running in there, knowing that a May is there, pounced, ready to go. So the wall bait tries to come out, and Kakashi just running in and out, but oh, the wall bait does not work as the freeze comes in, as Kakashi goes down, and NAL continue to rack up points on the board here, 40% and counting.
I'm not sure about the forest swap here from Weiss Queen. I mean, there is a pretty big open point when you actually get to that point, but like there's not a lot of space for you to fly. I mean, they don't have a hit scan, but the Reaper and the May can still touch you from short range. Still can that Sigma and Orisa.
Well, Habibi with a really, really early attack rise over here, but the Flux comes out. Is there follow-up? Well, it doesn't matter. Weiss Queen already gets chunked down and ends up dying. Prophetic One takes down Young Habibi. Habibi dropping onto point really early on here, so Prophetic One just able to rotate over and take out the soldier there. Now just the Mercy left. Bleem, what are your thoughts on a really brawly double barrier composition here coming out from NA Health Management?
I mean, it seems like the Valkyries just aren't really able to position themselves well enough and not playing the right characters to stop it. I mean, they really have to just punish the aggression by swapping. I mean, again, I like the Reaper swap here. A McCree would work too, but
Well, Valk's rushing onto point here and end up capturing it. The Blizzard comes out though as Sakura-san and Senpai Dani goes down. So that's Valkyries without their support lineup here. Kakashi gets interrupted mid-Earthshatter, and I believe Beagle used the whole hog there as well. Hopefully they're just looking over to switch over, but it did look a little bit like a desperation up because we are nearing last fight territory, as maybe you're hearing the call to switch to fast heroes to touch. Now we have White Queen just barely managing to dodge the wall over here, but unable to touch the point and falls before they're able to contest and trigger OT. That is the first point going over to NA Alt Management. We are 1-0 here in the Overwatch Oasis League.
I mean,
I think the Vice Queen on the far good intentions, but as you said before, there was like no room to fly, so you couldn't really get the damage off. And again, like you said, the Mei had the range and the Reaper had the range to pick off that Pharah. I like the idea, but wasn't a lot of space to fly around to get the damage done.
we're seeing almost mirrored compositions here. Kakashi on the Rhine though, and Sakursus on the Moira instead of the Baptiste. So a traditional double show comp versus one that has a Moira and a Rhine will be that's planning on being a little bit more brawly. I think Valkyries might have an advantage here because of the style NA is trying to play the triangle brawl, whereas Valks might win in that war.
So Mr. Link over on the far this time, matching White Queen there. Both of them with a Mercy, of course, and of course with the damage boost. Maybe you don't put the damage boost onto the farm, maybe put it onto the hit scan there, but Mr. Link already taking on Young Habibi there. The pin comes out from Kakashi, ends up in a really awkward position as they do end up getting burnt down. Mr. Link finding another pick here as Whiteskin and Sakura Sauce both falling here. And they are continuing their dominant performance here on Busan.
The teabags from the Arisa on NA's side.
Excuse me, the crouch dance, Siren.
Tactical crouching.
The crouch dance, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Trying to avoid the headshots from the opposing edge.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta just charge up and dodge the shots.
I agree.
So White Queen over here gets chunked down extremely low when the healing isn't quite there just yet. Just find another shot on them, but ends up falling back. But Young Habibi here ends up taking about Sky Blue here, as the Sky with the Mercy pocket so deadly. The Ashe, basically a light Widowmaker with the Mercy pocket.
One thing I find interesting is both of NA's DPS have their ults, and neither of the Valk's DPS have eclipsed
just 2/3 there, Bleep.
Right. It's just so much more space being made, and so many more angles being taken by NA just to find that damage.
Well, Mr. Link picking up Young Habibi yet again. So we're seeing NA ult management here, spending both maps, doing a... Oh my goodness! Mr. Link combines his tank line over there and absolutely decimates NA ult here. NA ult finding a lot of early picks to the point that the Valks are unable to set up too many actual fights, Bleem.
NA ult used 3 ults there when I only think maybe 2 were necessary, whereas Valks used 0 because they really didn't have very many, but they're approaching this fight with the advantage in the ultimate economy. Almost 5 ults versus the 3 for NA ult.
Alright, Kakashi now forced to get aggressive and touch here, and they do. The Coalescence is committed as Bob is sent to the backline. The Shatter there finds the Arisa, the pin comes in. Do you get deleted? Not quite, as the healing is there. Prophetic One just managed to stay alive with the help of the Immo field, of course. Young Habibi here taking shots left and right. Euroboy going down as White Queen finds Prophetic One, and Kappa goes down as well. So finally the point flips over to Valkyries, but NA ult here, just one fight to win, as both teams threw as a lot of resources there, but Sky Blue finds another pick. So consistently the damage on NA ult here, able to find early pickoffs here.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's just, it seems like Valkyries just aren't really playing together. They don't have the synergy that NA ult has shown so far in this game of just consistently being in one place, pushing one area.
Damn, Rabbits, that's cold. Check chat, ladies and gentlemen. Rabbits is not taking any prisoners tonight. The Amp Matrix comes out from NA Ultimate Management, really helps charge up a lot of ultimates, but Kakashi, they're slamming in, running a huge fire strike onto Mr. Link here, and forcing the forcing the Immo field out from Kappa, but that's get this right really, really quickly. Sky, though, continuing to find a lot of picks here. The Dynamite ends up taking down Sakura Sauce, who does eventually end up getting res. Bob here on point, taking a lot of damage though, and gets melted really quickly as Prophetic One is forced to just slow down and take a little of an off angle and get healed up, but not before White Screen finds them. So that's curtains for NAL as they are forced to drop back.
I think the swap to the Junkrat was a really good pick for Weiss, because Weiss Queen's Junkrat is very, very scary. It does a lot of damage, and the spam damage and just getting those little bombs off randomly, that could just be the end for...
Well, and not only
right
that,
there.
Siren, with Weiss, sorry, but that being said, Mr. Link's also switching onto the Junkrat with, I mean, I don't know if there's a real counter to the tire there on the side of Valkyries.
We're coming into this last fight, and Valkyries have 5 ults, whereas there's only about 2 or 3 on the side of NAO.
Alright, so the Coalescence is committed, and the tire finds Sky Blue very early on, no longer able to find those early kills. White Screen, though, takes one with them as Kappa falls to those mines, the Junkrat droppings, if you will. Young Habibi bobs Mr. Link away as Zero slams Young Habibi on the ground as well. Kakashi landing a fantastic fire drop with Bigo Takino over here. White Screen continuing to lay out the damage. Bongos are committed here from Beagle, as Valkyries get control of the point. It's 99.99. The tire comes out. Kakashi goes down. But it is a numbers game here as Valkyries have 4 members on point. The Tracer flicking away the can buy NA lots of time. As Sky Blue switches off Ash and goes to a Tracer. That is equally effective. White Skin gets found. Mr. Link with a huge nade over here as a Prophetic One finds Danny Senpai, but not before White Screen is rezzed over here. Prophetic One slams down to Sakura Sauce over here. Young Habibi falls as well. Oh my goodness, Sky Blue already charging up a Pulse Bomb. The Shatter comes out, finds the ball, but nobody's able to touch. Valkyries lose the point. What a crazy set of events there. That was one of the nuttiest stalls I've ever casted as NAL takes this 2-0 against, takes this at 2-0, making a 1-0 overall against the Valkyries.
Prophetic One got a 4K at the end of this game here. I'm sure this is it. 4K to secure the point.
That's a really good sign coming in, disrupting that entire backline, taking out Young Habibi, really making the most out of the chaos as the ball likes to do. Really good work coming out from both teams there, though, as we, if I'm being totally honest, did not anticipate Valkyries rallying back and making that work in their favor, but the Kakashi's Reinhardt almost making it work at the end there.
The Valkyries fully took advantage of NA ult just wasting some ults here and there, or using being a little bit excessive with their usage of ults. Even though the Valkyries were getting picked early in a lot of the fights they were trying to initiate, they weren't wasting ults, and the only thing they were wasting was their time. You know what I mean? I think Weiss Queens swapped off the Junkrat very early into that game because I believe they got picked off early just for bad positioning, and I think that kind of dissuaded them from playing their normal style, and eventually they just realized, you know, you have to suck it up and play with character you're best at, or how you think you can help your team win, and it seemed to work out pretty well, almost up until the end.
Yeah, agreed.
What map are we on next? Charles? Or, yeah.
Let me pull up the rotation. I believe
we're on Blizzard World, are we not?
No, that's tier 3 rotation. I gave you the wrong thing earlier.
Oh, Bleem, I trusted you.
Well, sorry, it's playoffs. Loser picks. My apologies.
Oh, loser picks.
Yeah, that's why we were
Yeah,
confused, chat.
Ah.
That's right.
So, go
Okay.
nuts. I'm curious to see what Valkyries end up going with. If they like the Reinhardt so much, we're going to probably see a really brawly map, a really Ryan-friendly map. Probably something like Eichenwald, maybe King's Row, maybe a Volskaya is going to come out from Valks as well. So, I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. And if I'm being honest,
World.
chat, I'm a little...
do.
Blizzard World.
That's
Okay.
kind of funny.
Yeah, so maybe I'm completely wrong and I'm just talking out of my butt.
Guys, I called it. I intended for this to happen. I knew it was going to be the Blizzard World all along.
Oh yes, the prediction from Bleem. Absolutely magnificent. What do you
Damn.
think
Tough portion.
you're gonna
Rabbits
see
asking
on
the real
December?
question here. That is a bet I am not willing to make. How many people are gonna get muted in the Overwatch talk tonight?
What is very interesting is they picked Blizzard Worlds, which is a very dive centric. Dive or double shield are really the biggest comps you can run on this map.
Mhm.
Diva's pretty good, but
Mhm.
Ryan's not so great on this map. And we know NA is one of the best, if not, or one of the better, if not the best, like double shield teams in Tier 2. Sebi himself, I believe, claimed that Prophetic One was the best Orisa player in Tier 2.
Mhm.
So
Um.
I'm unsure what they're thinking or what their reasoning is, but I'm sure they have some reason. They know they're good at this map. Our Valkyries know they're good at this map, so.
Yeah. This will be definitely a game to want to pay attention to. It's gonna be a little bit more exciting. Not saying that the last one wasn't, but
Last one
this is
had me
definitely gonna be a little bit more.
semi-sweating.
Oh, yeah. Oh no, Charles. No, you can't sweat.
My AC's on, it's okay. But I'm just having to cast and run cams at the same time. I'm doing my best.
I'm sorry.
We don't talk fast here. That's your job.
No, that's entirely on you. Like,
Everything I learned about play-by-play broadcasts, I learned from Siren herself.
what do I have to do with this?
Chat, if I say anything dumb, just please at Lady of Siren. Let her know that she dropped the ball. That her chosen one really isn't all that I'm piped up to be.
Hey, no, you will always be my chosen one when it comes to casting or streaming. Okay? Good. I'm glad we're on the same page, Charles.
No, I understand that I'm always your chosen one. I'm just asking you to make better choices, Siren.
No, it's okay. Like, you are my better choice.
I would like to point out that Prophetic One added Kenny McCormick, and Kenny McCormick did not offer to block Prophetic One, and I'm wondering why that is the case.
Some
'Cause
sauce.
last time I added Kenny McCormick, he said he was gonna block me because I accidentally added him.
Lirati, you did indeed
Oh.
play against me this season. You beat me last night, actually. I have absolutely no idea how to play against Junkrat, so you kind of had a field day against us, which is fair enough. Junkrat's kind of the place to be here.
Wait, what are we talking about? Sorry.
No, Lirati just reminding.
Lee Ratty?
Yeah, Lirati reminding
Don't
reminding us that we played against each other last night,
Yeah.
which is
Don't
fair. We
remind
did.
us. That was a yikes.
If it helps, we did VOD review it, and it was indeed a yikes.
Yeah. No, I think you guys, you did the best that you could. Watching that was really fun to watch, honestly. But
I imagine it would be fun to watch. It was close every map.
It was
really
good
close.
entertainment, and that's kind of what we set
If
out
you
to
weren't
do.
if you weren't like us, then I imagine from an outside perspective, it would be good.
yeah. No, yeah. I'm sorry. It was
It's
yeah,
all
no,
good.
it was
It's a
really
learning
close though.
experience.
I don't know what you're talking about. I really like losing. It makes me, I'm just really happy. I'm just really enjoy losing games. It just fills my soul with joy.
I'm sorry, Charles.
This is what you did.
Just waiting for
I'm
lineups to come out.
No, they-
As on the
We have one
side,
from Val.
Yeah.
We
yeah,
just
on the
need-
Valkyries, we got
Ready and
Beagle
lineups
over
from-
here, sticking on the tank line with Senpai Danny moving over to play tank. Young Habibi staying here, and Ravioli staying the first map of the night, jumping in to partner Young Habibi as Living Truth and Sakura Sauce make up the rest of the support lineup.
Okay. Swap for blue team.
Kenny
And,
McCormick said they choose to defend.
All right.
Ah. Okay, so that's blue, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank God. Kappa and does that say butt? It does say butt.
Buttweiser, yes.
It's Budweiser.
So the
Yeah,
only the only unchanging bit of NAL's lineup is the damage lineup, as Mr. Link and Sky once again doing such a good job finding early picks on this map, and with all the high ground and the angles that you can take on Blizzard World, the long sight lines that enable an Ashe, enable a Widow, enable a Pharah. A lot of times you're thinking that, I mean, Blizzard World is really a DPS centric map here, and then I'm looking forward to see what Sky's able to do on the hit scan.
for sure, for sure. And we saw a lot of like early pickoffs, like in the first map on Young Habibi and Weiss Queen especially.
Both
Can I
teams,
start? Both
gave
teams
their
said ready.
readies.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. I shall start then. It's in competitive. We should be good.
Welcome to Blizzard World.
This one, I'm really excited to watch this one, honestly.
Me too,
I really
I
enjoy Blizzard World.
Yeah, I don't enjoy playing it, to be honest.
It's pretty though.
I do.
It
It is
is-
really pretty.
Yeah.
Playing it, it's completely different. Like, I understand where you're coming from, 100%. It is a really pretty map, like you said, but I do really enjoy playing it just because it's a very pretty map.
Beagle exercising his wide hero pool of 2 heroes here with using the Winston.
Thank you, Bleep, for that.
I mean, this is again, this is a strong dive map. So like the hybrid dive brawl comp, if they run it well, could be super effective. Especially Young Habibi is going to be on that Doomfist to follow up on the dive. It's just going to be a little bit hard to get value out off of that dive against the double shield, especially if the double shield positions themselves on the high ground.
In 30 seconds.
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of like, I've never really seen Winston Ryan play before. That's a little odd.
Only in comp.
I'm excited to see what goes on with this one.
It's a weird style of play. We're also seeing a sim. I don't know if it'll be just teleport out the gate or whether they're going to stick with the sim and try to run some crazy teleport strats.
I hope for some
They're gonna
crazy
stick with
teleport
it.
traps. Never forget when London
Teams are going to get
Spitfire
some crazy.
used a TP out the gate to get Prophet a headshot in the Overwatch League. Okay, so it looks like they're choosing to push towards this high ground here and force NA Alt to back up to point. This is not a bad position. You had but Beagle taking so much damage, getting chunked down to around 100 health. Alright, the TP is out. Where does it go? High round behind. This is great work over here as that Ryan is now allowed to brawl. A great bubble coming up from Beagle just to keep everybody safe here. As the Doomfist punches and takes out Mr. Link. The dive comes out from Beagle as well. Jumps on top of that backline. Kappa does manage to get that res off though, and the pin goes in, but the gold is there from Filthy Reindeer, stopping anybody from dying. But Young Habibi there is in the backline, destroying everybody. Buttweiser goes down, Kappa falls, and Filthy Reindeer is not one for this world either. Oh, this with the tire. Not sure how I feel about that.
A 5K.
Definitely that was a loose fight for the team. Mr. Link should not have used his ult. He could have saved
appears
but then again, he swapped off
to Sombra. So in the off chance, that 1% chance you get that 5K, you know, it's worth it. But otherwise, you're not going to need it anyway. So
I mean, Siren, how are we
call.
feeling about the Sombra pick here?
And then the
both of them have Sombras
Counter Sombra.
actually. Sombra on attack is actually a little bit better because like if you get the hacks on like the tanks or anything like that, or even just a pick on either support or DPS, like the Mercy per se.
Well, I mean, speaking of picks, Young Habibi and Ravioli Sting getting the work done. Mr. Link going down as well. The rest of the team go down as well as NAL are forced to back up again. Valkyries, after what looks like a slightly slower start, is now finally coming to life as Beetle gets a great stagger into Buttweiser. Any chance? I mean, like, do you even contest here if you're on the side of NAL? Would that be a feed, or do you try to go for it anyways?
I think they're going to try to contest and see if they can get it, but I think it seems that Valhalla are building their comp around disruption.
And the disruption's working. The shatter comes from the backline, not quite finding anybody though, but Sakura Sauce is there to back everybody up with the coalitions, keeping everybody healthy, but most importantly, getting a triple kill. Kappa, Buttweiser, and Filthy Reindeer falling to that purple and gold beam of death as Ravioli Stain finds an Exegol on this guy as well, who is unable so far tonight to show us too much of their, so far on this map, show us too much of that hit scan that we have seen them be able to pull out so many times this season.
Yeah,
So on the first point, we saw a lot of NA ult, like focusing a specific target and making a certain rotation. But the way Valves are playing right now, they're not going to be able to all target one target. Valves are making NA target multiple people at the same time and find out who's the most valuable target.
And I mean, well, speaking of value, Valkyries doing a great job over here. I believe only using the app matrix to get an entire team wipe off of Valks over here. And now the ult advantage has firmly swung the other way, Siren.
I think for the second point that they got there, they should have just let them have it because they gave them a lot of feed there. But looking at Ravioli Stain and Mr. Link, Mr. Link's ult is being built really, really slow, but Ravioli already has theirs, so they can push this.
Alright, is that EMP coming in? And yes, it is. No follow-up of ultimate, so you usually don't need that. The Flux is deployed, though, just to slow down the damage, but Beagle Young have you finding a kill piece already. The immo field is so nice and alive, though, but it doesn't matter. Senpai Danny finding Filthy Reindeer as Kappa goes down in the backline as well. We got Sakura Sauce here, though. Electric TV... I can't pronounce this. Salvo Electric over here on that high ground after using that Flux, being forced back to spawn as well. We're closing in on one fight territory for NA ult management as Senpai Danny is approaching with the Shatter with Living Truth with a wonderful defensive ult up the pocket, but Ravioli State falls early as Mr. Link now has that EMP ready to go. And it does come out, and as the High Noon is deployed, finding Living Truth, and it looks like they are forced to back up here. Living Truth unable to hide from that EMP though, and Danny's over here probably going to get caught out. That barrier only able to do so much work, and they're going to get chunked down to one absolute health here, but they do manage to just hang on as the healing arrives just in time. Mr. Link going deep there and forced to translocate out, but already a quarter of their way into a next EMP. Ravioli's seen 60% to go though, and the amp matrix is now deployed, and Senpai Danny is absolutely melted, and I believe the Valks here are going to be forced to back up yet again. Oh no, they commit the coalescence! I'm not sure how I feel about that, because Mr. Link has found the kill onto Ravioli's as well as Beagle resets by jumping off the map. Or at least I hope it was an intentional reset, as just the support on the Doomfist online, and the hack Doomfist is a dead Doomfist. Lucio Moore both get out though, as Coalescence is committed to what looks like a lost fight.
Reindeer holds on to bongos throughout that fight, even though I believe both the EMP and the Primal Nature committed that fight. Or maybe EMP was committed a while ago, but oh, it was Coalescence and 5-4 committed that fight, even after their round was dead, which was ballsy, but NA realized they had won the fight.
Well, an early sound barrier coming out to allow for Young Habibi to get super aggressive here, and the meteor strike comes out onto the backline, doesn't find anybody, not quite, as Ravioli Stain has now farmed another EMP and is ready to go. Sky Blue though, showing us what they can do on that hit scan. Young Habibi falling, the EMP comes out, doesn't find anybody, it's massive, it finds 5, it finds 6, that's the entire team, but the kills don't come through. Mr. Link and Sour Electricity, they'll find the kills, and the EMP does not pay off for Ravioli Stain. Very rarely do you see a 6-man EMP and 0 kills. Basically, you EMP there and basically get your entire team wipes here, and it's 90 seconds and counting as NAL looks in an incredibly healthy position to manage this. The EMP High Noon was how they used it last time, and I don't see any reason it would be any different.
But Wise are getting a lot of value right now off of that. Baptiste getting his ult pretty much every fight. It really shows just the synergy between the Dutch and that Baptiste.
And we see the field being deployed again, and so much damage coming out. Great record mover in Budweiser, just because they're a support doesn't mean they can't aim. Some great mechanics coming out here, getting those kills out. And we are closing in on one fight territory here on Blizzard World. So far, we still have NA leading the Valks 1-0. Remember, this is the quarterfinal, so whoever loses here, whoever loses here will get to pick the next map. Alright, so the Coalescence is deployed here, and both the tanks are found in the shadow. That's beautiful work, and the rally is deployed as well. Cell Electricity basically gets absolutely deleted already. Danny Senpai here takes out Kappa as well, though. Swinging away, Senpai trying to take down as many people as possible. But Wise are extremely low. Eventually, this gets taken out that ammo field not long for this world. And it's just the Ash here doing the best that they can with 30 seconds remaining. Valks managed to cap the point after what looked an extremely dominant point A and B, and they all did manage manage to eventually stabilize, but Valkyries do get a complete capture and complete push completed. Take a shot every time I say the word complete, chat.
That third point attack was just a story of Senpai Danny not really being able to hold his shield for very long, as it was just getting completely melted, and he wasn't playing as much, or he wasn't really able to play too much cover there because of the way the point is designed, and the rotations weren't super fast. So double shield was taking the long poke fights, and that's exactly what you want to do. And when you're that Reinhardt, you want to be in there swinging immediately. But when Buttweiser's just charging those ults so fast, your shield just gets instantly deleted, it seems.
I don't know how Mr. Link and Asen are going to go against each other. I mean, Mr. Link can find the pick off that Torbjorn turret really quick and easily. But again, if only they can get that pick. I'm not saying that it's going to be hard, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but that'll be a little bit of a hassle to get rid of.
Right.
Especially if it's behind shield or in a hard place.
That Torbjorn turret is really, really good at just putting the pressure on the Pharah or flankers and just letting them know, like, you're not able to just do whatever you want, right? You're going to have to play a little bit safer and take some angles you're not going to want to take.
You have the Ashe, so the Ashe can even help with the turret.
Right. They seem to be in a bad spot, not really covered by any shields there. Instantly deleted.
This Reindeer just got it.
Right.
So NAL do, the Valks do, NAL do rotate off of this high ground over here, hoping to get some spam in as a Sky Blue obliges and takes out Young Habibi. The hit scan being out of here. Mr. Link going very deep, trying to get some value off of this Pharah. As Valks over here are forced kind of to hold a pretty defensive position in the back of point, but Sakura Sauce and Ravioli stay involved really, really early, and it looks really, really good for NAL as they steam forward and get ready to capture point A. 6-on-4 fight here on point, but the Devil Barrier allows you for so much stability, so even when you lose two of your teammates, you don't really, you know, compared to a lot of other compositions, you maybe don't feel it as much, but eventually I think they do end up falling over here, as just like we said earlier, Buttweiser are charging these Amp Matrixes basically for free, as a Sky Blue takes down Senpai Dani, as the, Mr. Link, hello, with the probably swapping off the Pharah, probably good chance that we're going to see some EMPs, one tricks come out, but no, Mr. Link stays on to the Pharah, the Sombra not making an appearance just yet. Interesting that both teams chose to go with it on the previous round, though.
I'm a little confused as to why Mr. Link decided to use his ult and, you know, accidentally kill himself, but maybe you have an idea for this? A little curious.
It's a big brain play. You use ults at unexpected times when nobody is around, so they don't know you used it. You mess up the enemy team's ult tracking. I like this. I like this. Right.
Yeah.
If one of you, Lady Sharon, are you watching stream right now?
Yes, I am.
Or Charles, can you check if look at match chat and then check if Kenny McCormick is watching the stream? He wanted us to like check it out.
I can't take my hands off my controller because I'm running cams.
Okay.
But once I figure it out, once I figure out how to grow a third hand, I will let you know if Kenny McCormick is around.
Alright.
But if you are around Kenny McCormick, hello. And welcome to the Overwatch Oasis.
Showing just a dominant performance in the second point, capping with almost 4 minutes left. Gonna have nearly 5 minutes and 30 seconds for this last point. Just to cap
Not only that, Bleep, look at the ult counter up at the top.
Right, well both teams have just so many ults.
Well, speaking of also, Kappa and Ravioli get traded out as Young Habibi uses the attack visor to basically kill the single Mercy, which honestly is not a horrible use of that ultimate. Justice reigns from nowhere. Justice reigns from spawn. Young Habibi with a great reactions and a triplet of Helix rockets into Mr. Link's face here. As NAO still getting some progress on cart though. Still getting this moving forward. But maybe forced to back up now as the flux there. Lots of damage coming up, but the follow-up is not there, so that's just going to be free ult charge going towards Kappa and Buttweiser, who both have their ultimates back up already. Buttweiser using the Amp Matrix as the flux comes out. Filthy Rain here and Mr. Link both get taken down.
That was a
Oh,
really,
Mr. Link
really
with a
good
great
play.
cleanup here.
That was a really good play on the side of OwO, who fluxed up the Sigma so that they couldn't shield off the Ant Matrix.
Those
under the
reins
radar,
are big
but
indeed. Are they able to
I think
touch,
they're
please?
almost gonna catch
Oh
us.
my god,
It seems
do
like-
they use the coalescence? Yes, they managed to just touch. Living Truth is there to keep the OT going. And we have Beagle being rezzed over here as the Senpai Danny is forced to switch over to the Diva to keep the timer ticking. 4 minutes are remaining here, but NAL looks to be in control. It is just the tanks for Valkyries left on point here. Just as range from above and free fires from above this time. A blistering attack coming out from NAL management.
I'm not sure about the soldier pick, to be honest. I don't know about like what situation soldier is better than McCree or Ashe really. Unless you just like don't trust your healers, but I mean, this is playoffs. I mean, everyone's been playing with each other, so you should at this point, you know your healers, know where they're gonna be, know where you're gonna be. And maybe you guys could fill me in on this, but I don't understand the soldier swap or soldier pick as like as opposed to other hit scan. I think he's the weakest one.
He really is the weakest one. Like, if you wanted to have a hit scan, like your McCree, even a Widow would be a lot better than a soldier. Like, a soldier's ult is very good. He does a decent amount of damage, but in order to, like, shut down a Pharah, you're gonna want someone with a little bit more accuracy.
For sure, yeah. And I know Young Habibi plays a lot of McCree and has made some big plays in tier 2 already with this McCree, but I'm not sure. And I mean, we're gonna see McCree here on their attack, but Beagle not with the Winston this time, instead with the Roadhog that he's known so much for. And a pretty standard, like pretty much the same thing that NA Ultimate just ran on their last defense, but
this time the Sombra coming out early on both teams. Just a minute left on the clock though, so kind of whoever charges the EMP first is probably going to win this team fight.
If Ravioli can build their ult very, very fast here, then it'll be a really, really big.
Well, I think what else is interesting is that Ravioli, the one Sombra pick already forces NAL to give up all this high ground here. So maybe you pick the Sombra just for the positioning, which honestly kind of a 5-head move. I'm a big fan of it. As a Fire Strike comes out from Senpai Danny, gets himself halfway to the chart. The hacks come out, not quite finding anybody just yet, but Ravioli staying outpacing Mr. Link on the EMP counter here. Beagle finds an early pick on the Buttweiser here, though, so there's a lot of healing gone. It's just a break trying to keep everybody alive. As the Hawk goes in a crazy flank here, Beagle eventually gets taken by Mr. Link in the background over here. The Valkyries do manage to cap the point. NAL over here throwing bodies onto the points as Filthy Reindeer does their best to stall this out. And spot checking for the Sombra as Mr. Link, D-cloaks, and gets flashbang, but crashes out just in time. Oh, nope. Yep.
We saw exactly what Beagle is known for. He went on a deep flank through the Mega Room and just hooked the Baptiste, killed him, then I believe killed the Ashe directly after that, and at that point the fight was pretty much over.
I mean, eventually gets traded out, but it doesn't matter. You pick 2 for your Hog, you take it every time, especially as the defending team now has to contend with this horribly, horribly long OT respawn timer. But remember, it is one fight territory until the rest of the map.
Exactly. NAO needs to just use their ults wisely just to get the team up, get a bounce off the fire.
Well, speaking of using ults wisely, that's a great slam coming out, just threading the needle, waiting for the shield to be traded out here, but Young Habibi finding 2, just like you said, Bleep. So good on them McCree all season. Sky finding 2 here as Mr. Link takes down Danny Senpai. Can they keep this rolling? This is going to be tough as it's just Beagle left on point trying to juke their way out of some damage. Beagle now with the whole Hog online. Do they commit it? Nope, just the hook. Oh, there it is. But Sao there is there to eat most of it as Kappa is out with the Glock. Goes your Roadhog. And not a crazy push from NAL, but you cap point A and you get a little bit of progress there. You buy yourself a point A defense, of course, and you buy yourself a recontest. So not worst case scenario, but it is 4 minutes remaining.
I don't know if you were watching the old meters, but I know I was. And Live in Truth was 99% to his sound barrier when he died and got it immediately once he died. You sound barrier there, you survive for that extra 8 seconds, you give the Ryan that time to come back. That's a whole different fight. right? But I guess he just didn't land enough shots, or like didn't use his amp wisely enough, and just couldn't get it in time. He came into the fight about 92% and just couldn't quite get up that high. And that's partly due to Lucio's beat just being the hardest ult in the game to charge.
Definitely. They had a lot of ults there. Especially with the sound barrier, they definitely could have gotten a lot more
For sure.
ground covered and like could have pushed a lot more.
The EMP would have came in, the Ryan would have came in, and at that point I believe, obviously anything could happen. I think Valks would be at a distinct advantage at that point. But they did get the carpet pretty far for only having a minute.
They did.
So all it's going to take is a pretty good defense just to get rid of this 4-minute time bank on the side of NAO. What it's really going to come down to is how good their streets defense is and whether they decide to recontest or not. Recontest the first point, that is.
And it's interesting that they're choosing not to hold this high ground, just to give it up really early on in this fight, content with just dealing with that spam damage. Still running down Lucio though, hoping that the Orisa rush works out.
You don't see very much double shield Orisa Ryan, but it seems like that's just like, no matter who they have in, that's who Valks want to play with.
Well, Mr. Link and Sky finding a kill apiece really early on here. That's exactly what you do not want if you're the Valks. NAL steaming forward here as Mr. Link basically uncontested in the air now, raining down so much hurt, but it's Sky that gets the work done. But Mr. Link does eventually the damage, take 2 damage players, taking down 2 tanks apiece. Just the Lucio left to contest here. Not quite sure what a single Brazilian DJ is able to do, except for back up here as Valks get ready to dig in for what is going to be a brutal hold for 3 minutes here on Streets of Blizzard World.
For sure, they're defending very far back, where that initial shield at least comes out very far back for where the card has to go. But now the shield better positioning right at the end of the corner, and they get a really good position here.
They're having 2 pin scans. You would think that the Mr. Link would be a little bit more contested.
Well, there, Mr. Link gets picked up for the Reds. Is there really early on, just even before the card even rolls around the corner. Sky and Filthy Rainier finding some great kills as Kappa does end up rezzing Mr. Link. Sky gets taken down eventually, but Sao and Mr. Link is there to make sure the contest might not even happen. Do we see any stalls coming out? We got the Amateurs out just in case, but that is a negative as NAL takes the series 2-0 here in the Overwatch Oasis League Tier 2 quarterfinal.
Live in Truth contested the payload for a second there, but that was a really nice direct rocket to just kind of let him know that's not going to happen. Also, by the way, do we go to map 4 if a team goes 3-0 up?
I do not believe so.
Because we should probably
I can check.
No, it wouldn't make sense to do so.
Yes, I know. Believe there's a place to check, and I will check.
Okay. A lot of heal. Live in Truth just kind of showing that he's doing a lot of heals, right? It's unfortunate that one sound barrier, but you know, Lucio can be a main healer.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe not in the current meta, but at times he has the healing output to do so.
I think the Budweiser on Baptiste is wow. I really like their Baptiste. They get a lot of healing, and their ult is just there almost there every fight, and I'm really happy to see that from a support.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that he carried, but like I was thinking like about saying that, but I just because NA all played very well that map. So did Valkyries. Really, that was a really good map to watch. Both teams played excellent, especially on their attacks. But just Budweiser definitely charging ult faster than anyone else and keeping his team alive very well. I think he was probably the strongest part of NA of the entire game on that map.
Because like the range with Baptiste went for his heals, he definitely has the ability to get everyone back up with the health, but I really like Live in Truth, honestly. I really like the Lucio, but the ults that they have built or build um, didn't really get much payoff.
Right,
They
not as
got
impactful.
canceled. Like
Yeah.
immediately, like it was just like a really big cancel. Like even when it was used or wanted to be used, it was hard to use it when there was not many people around to use it for. Whether you were using it to save yourself or your team, it was just like almost like a big cancel.
For sure. Yeah, I noticed that, I probably should check lobbies, because I'm running this, but, or like, check match chat.
Thank you, Gleam.
Um,
Very cool. We got
Well, if
Temple
they
of
want
Anubis
Temple of
coming up
Anubis,
next, Siren, which is a kind of
ooh,
a crazy Junkrat map. Talk me through that.
ooh, I really want to see Weiss in this for the Junkrat. But this is like a Junkrat can hide pretty easily in this, in my opinion, because
Mhm.
he could just sit in a corner and just look up and spam his bombs from above and just get the damage and get his ult really fast. So for that, it's a really good Junkrat map. Like he could just hide and he could just spam wherever he wants to spam, because chances are his bombs are just going to meet someone.
Right.
okay, they haven't sent
But
lineups in yet, but,
not yet.
yeah. I agree, the Junkrat is very good on this point, as well as Ash, so if Sky
Yeah.
Blue stays in, I'm sure they'll have a field day.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Like, an Ashe would be really, really good here too. What about heals? What do you think you're gonna see for heals on this?
I think, I don't see any reason why the teams really switch it up very much, you know. I think we're gonna see a lot of, Bat Brig, like we just have seen from NAO the first two maps, with double shield. And I think um, on the side of Valks, we're gonna either see some Lucio Moira or Mercy Moira.
Um, if I had to pick, I would probably go like Mercy Moira, because like for the reses, and like the Moira for like the maxed out healing. But then again, you still have that Mercy there for the damage boost and the reses and the heal herself. But then that leaves them without much of a defensive ult. I mean, Coalescence can help in certain situations, but it can only heal
Mhm.
so much.
Definitely. I think when it comes to off heals, one of the strongest, I think the strongest off healer by far right now is Brig, whose ult can be used kind of as a defensive or offensive ult. But Mercy, I think Mercy will be stronger defensively, and Lucio is pretty strong on attack on this point, or on second point of this map, because there's just like the second point is so difficult to break for attack.
Alright. We do have
Lineup,
lineups. Kenny
I
has
see
sent them in,
now.
and so did Ravioli Stain.
Here, okay. Swap the spectators. Okay.
Ooh, Kakashi's coming back in. I'm excited to see Kakashi play a little bit more. I really like his Reinhardt. He's super aggressive, but at the same time, he's a little bit too aggressive when it comes to certain situations. Like in a lot of the fights, like he charges in, or he goes in without his teammates or his heals. Like, he's very, very, very aggressive. But I do like that about him. But sometimes it can be his downfall.
For sure. I mean, it really depends on if the opposing team decides to check their corners and pay attention and realize, oh, there's not a Reinhardt in front of us. He's probably behind us.
Yes, Kakashi is very known for being behind people.
In other news, I believe Beast Edition and Papegas just finished out their matchup here as Papegas takes it 3-1. We got
Ooh.
MVPs coming out for we got Nerdy picking up the MVP. We got Zero picking up DPS MVP. I believe that's their debut here in the Overwatch Oasis League, and Crits Mag
Nice.
picking up one as well. My sources are confirming that Jibba
Oh, I
also
accidentally
decided
kicked
to
someone from the
chuck
custom game.
herself off the map at a certain points of the matchup, but we don't need to talk about that, and I will not mention the fact that Jibba chucked herself off the map. But back over here onto Temple, yeah, like you guys said, I'm really excited to see Sky and what Sky can do on the Ashe, especially if they continue to give that Ashe a mercy pocket.
For sure.
if the Ashe has a Mercy Pocket, then like that is a lot of damage right there. And if the Ashe does have a Mercy Pocket, the ult charge in the ult build for Bob is just very simple, very easy. If they can hit their shots, and even some headshots in there, like the ult will just be built really, really fast.
So, I'm not looking at the thing right now. Does anyone know, do we know which team wants to defend and which team wants to attack? Or if
I'm
they said...
looking right now, but...
Let's see, let's see.
Kenny said we defend.
Okay, cool. Then I don't have to swap anything. I really respect the defense. It's like choosing the black pieces in chess.
Yeah, and a defense.
You know your openings.
Okay.
So remember, folks, this is the second quarterfinal of the night, and we're here on match point. Whoever ends up, if NAL take Anubis here, they complete the 3-0. And of course, you don't play on map 4 since these are playoffs, and playing on map 4 would seem a little bit silly. Although if the teams want to run a GOATS map, who am I to say no? So first to 3 wins, no map 4, but Valks of course can kick off a 5 mapper if they choose to show up and to bring us some wonderful reverse sweep storylines.
So you have it confirmed that they only need is 3 wins?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would make sense to me.
Yes. I'm still checking in with the script writers as to if they want to include a reverse sweep.
Of course, of course. Yeah, I think they were actually taking a day off today, so.
Well, I can make some stuff up on my own. I was in an improv group in college.
Ooh. Ravioli Stain choosing that sim. Hopefully some more crazy teleport strats. We didn't
Not
really
only
see...
that, Filthy Reindeer decided to announce MVPs for the evening in chat already, making our jobs a lot easier.
Are they all
we
Kenny
don't need
McCormick?
to do it anymore. No. Filthy Ranger said Tank Beagle, TBS, Mr. Link, and support for Budweiser.
I think MVP for the night is Siren's internet connection.
You leave my internet alone, I'm sorry. You bully me, you bully me. I thought we were friends, Charles.
That's a strong word, no worries. Oh, so we got Euro and Prophetic One running the double barrier here as I tear Siren to shreds here. Mr. Link, of course, hitting us with the Junkrat pick as Kakashi pulls a Bleem and dies in spawn.
Probably tried to bait them out from... And there's the bait. Try to bait them out from thinking that he's playing Zarya.
Oh, you love to see it, folks. So we got Beagle onto the Hog again, already taking so much damage, and Kappa lands a triplet of headshots there. Takes down Beagle. That's exactly what you want from your damage-boosted Batiste. As Sky takes down Ravioli Stain as well. Pause champ coming up. Pause works, chat. No worries. Nobody fret. We're all good. Just stay safe. Wear a seatbelt. Eat your vegetables. A wonderful pull coming out. Just pulling Kakashi out from cover over here as they are forced to back up. Oh, a wonderful fire strike. Michelin going down. And that is the go button coming out, maybe, on the side of Valks as they finally manage to make their way onto this left side, but not before they lose Masala. Kakashi with a wonderful pin coming in. Michelin dies twice in one fight, but not before dropping some... let's call him Junkrat pellets. Here is Ravioli Stain with the Sim TP, charging up and leaving again. Chat, I have a Sim rework idea. TP is the same, except the enemy team can also use it.
Oh, like on Apex with...
yeah, with Raid's Portal.
Yeah.
Not that I play any game except for Overwatch, I'm sorry, Jeff. But so we have
same.
Beagle going on once again a really deep flank here. Finally getting a hookup for Frederick One being pulled in, but that's so much peel coming out to protect Beagle over here as Mr. Link takes down Masala with the trap. I mean, Valk's just struggling to even get through the choke as Beagle taking some, shall we say, interesting flanks over here. Prophetic One drops down to take Beagle out, and it works out. So Prophetic One buys their team a lot of time to reset and get these ults online.
So right now I'm very curious about something. So they listed, Valks listed Masala as a DPS player and Fentanyl as a healer, and their SRs were their healer and their DPS and their healer respectively, but they're on opposite roles right now.
Well,
maybe
good
that
thing
was a
there's
mistake
some...
they made in hero selection, but
that's something they could have told us, I feel. Well,
I
mods,
don't believe it'll go over the SR cap, so I don't think it's a
well, that's
huge
not up
issue.
to us to check. Mods, if there are any of y'all around, I would love some clarification and some help on that.
For sure.
But I'm going to do my job, which is just talk really, really quickly as the tire comes out. Mr. Link throws it over the top. Does it find the Mori? Yes, it does. Cancel the coalescence as well as Sky. Just like yo, Sky, you get gassed up and you deliver, my friend. That's the reverse caster curse. We say you're going to click heads, and that's all you've been doing tonight. Euro takes down Ravioli Stain as well. A wonderful, you know, kind of passage of play coming out on both teams. Oh, but Prophetic One going really, really deep into the backline, but it ends up working out in their favor as that Ryan is now taking a lot of damage, but that Mercy is there to keep everybody healthy.
I'm a little confused. Honestly, like if they were gonna run, if Ravioli was going to play the fire, they should have had Mercy to begin with, and they could have hit the Moira. Even the Bat would have helped a lot. But the Bat Moira I didn't like seeing that pick.
I mean, Beagle's going on these crazy routes. I've never seen a hog go up there just for the hook. Kakashi goes for the drop shatter. Doesn't work. Yes, it kind of does find Zero there, who already had the shield to protect everybody. So now, Beagle is now whole hogging on point, trying to push everybody out. The Golden comes up from Prophetic One, just keep them in place as Kappa with a really, really timely Amp Matrix here just to keep everybody healthy and keep the enemies dead. 20 seconds Amp remaining as the Valks have yet to make a dent on this capture point as of yet. Kakashi though with the ball hoping to slam in as the Haga ball torture is in full effect. Now Attire is deployed as Prophetic One takes down Senpai nice and early on. The coach comes down. The ball does manage to tag the point though, so OT is in place. The ball is fluxed up into the air as Kakashi is forced to just roll around and hide from the enemies before being eventually taken down. Beagle finding another hook though, but still not translating that into a kill, and that is a full hold coming out on the side of the NA ult. Now, like correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that means NA has clinched a semi-final spot, as the most we can get from this game is now a draw. Am I right, Bleem, or am I completely just making things up?
This is true. Yeah, it's not. Worst case, it would be a 2-0, or worst case for NA ults, it would be a 2-0-1, right? At that point, it's still best of 5, so. There's no way for Valks to win at that point, because the best they could get is 2-2-1 if we went through the 5 maps, and that would be a tie. So, yeah, they have secured the game at this point. It seems like a lot of just boom coming out from the side of Valks. I mean, they couldn't really get a coordinated push. Beagle was always on the deep flanks and really didn't make anything of any of those flanks at all.
Yeah, Beagle going in some pretty wild. I mean, like. I hate to admit it, but it does look like a little boom is coming out.
I want to note now that Lil Masala and I'm Fentanyl just switched roles. So
once again, mods, if we could get some help on that. I don't know enough to really know anything about that, but I'm being told in chat that if a draw comes out here, it is still first to 3. So a draw here, a draw here is not enough to secure the win for NA ults. So Valkyries still have something to play for, but I'm not quite sure how that ends up in the rulebook as the switches are coming out.
So map 6 then? Theoretically,
it could. If a 2-1-2 could take it into a map 6, yes. So Valks, our scriptwriters are having a day off, but the Valks certainly are not. So the really interesting turret placement from the Torb there, Ravioli State, making sure nobody can really take down that Torb turret without taking an obscene amount of spam damage. But the double barrier composition of the NA ult management do push under the bridge, but Masala gets taken out really, really early on as Ravioli State falls to Mr. Link as well as well, I mean, I think you're right, Bleem. The boom coming in full effect. NA ult management not having to manage any ults this fight, as NA ult take the point, take the map, and take the win 3-0 as they book themselves a spot in the semifinals.
I was a
mean,
little confused as to what was going on with Valkyries there.
right.
They left their Ashe just completely uncontested. They had the Pharah, but then again, the Ashe just completely just demolishes the Pharah. But, Sky Blue with some really hardcore picks on here, like completely saving the point and just doing a lot to keep everybody in check.
That
I
match
was a little
was
confused.
genuinely difficult to watch. Yeah, very much confused. Like, it didn't seem like there was much coordination at all. Like, I'm not sure. Like, a lot of ults just either weren't used or just didn't get anything, and it was rough. It was rough. Especially,
It was really rough.
I'm sure if from the perspective of Valks, your healer picks DPS and your DPS picks healer, you're immediately like, we're down 2-0 against this team that is probably favored for, they're favored for good reasons, and even though that means, like, it's not over, but we're at even more of a disadvantage at this point, you know? And that's a tough reality to deal with.
We probably should have just kept the lineup as it was sent in the chat.
Right, and I think we saw before the game them baiting the casters, but I think they might have baited the casters too hard. Like, they just selected the characters and then they locked the roles and couldn't swap off, you know what I mean? That has happened to me in scrims before.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, if that happens, usually just like I said, like you guys said, you just spam us out. But before we say goodbye for the evening, we still have to do our MVP selections.
Okay.
We have.
May I give my?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I think that Budweiser needs to get MVP.
I think Budweiser hands down.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any argument there. I think Budweiser had an extremely, not even. I mean, like, not like a big flashy evening, just like an extremely quietly efficient evening. No worries. Here's an Amp Matrix, easy 4K for my Ashe. I'm just gonna hang out. You guys do all the work. And I mean, that's kind of what you want. I mean, like, a good support is almost like a good referee, right? A good referee and a good support, you don't notice them if they're doing their job well. And Budweiser just showed up with the Amp Matrix whenever necessary, and others just quietly plugging along. So really, no argument from me here.
So I'm gonna give my perspective here, and I think my MVP picks would be Sky Blue, who just really popped off all night. Like, Mr. Ling and Sky Blue were both playing really well, but Temple of Anubis was where I think Sky Blue made that gap a lot bigger. And then I think Valkyries get the tank MVP, because when it comes on the side of NA ult, I don't think any of them shined especially over the other ones. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's fair. I think it's very effective and team-based performances coming out. I agree.
I agree. Yeah, from all that. But what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with my assessment, or?
I think that's fair. I think you said Sky for DPS.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Lady Siren?
I do agree with Budweiser being the support MVP. And I do like Sky for MVP as well, but I'm hard stuck with the tanks, because I really like their tanks. I loved NA's
I think so
tanks.
too. Yeah, I think NA's tanks were really, really, really important. But yes. I was just I was thinking, and I was just like, which one though? You know what I mean?
I agree with you guys, but I really like. I don't want to butcher their name.
Prophetic One.
Prophetic One.
Prophetic One. I really liked their tank. I really did.
I think Prophetic One did play well, but continue. Sorry.
I don't know. It's so hard.
I
but
think
at the
if
same time,
I had...
Kakashi did really well too. So did Beagle. Both tanks on Valkyries did very, very well. They did what they could. But I do agree with Sky, and I do agree with Budweiser.
Okay. So
I don't think just based on Anubis, I think unfortunately I can't really vouch for Beagle there. Unfortunately.
Right. Not I think Anubis.
So where I'm a little bit confused right now is that I think Beagle kind of was the reason they were close on Blizzard World, but then ended up just kind of feeding on Temple of Anubis. But when it comes to Temple of Anubis, I think it seemed like both tanks were feeding, really. I mean, maybe it's just that they couldn't really get a coordinated push together, but that's more of a internal thing, and it's all the roles.
Mhm.
and I think just weighing through the best, I think I would say Beagle. I don't know though. So
If I had
it's
to
up to
pick
you guys.
between both tanks
It
for
would be Kakashi
Valkyries,
for
And
me, if I'm
also
being
I
Danny
would
honest.
pick
Yuki as well.
Kakashi.
Okay, I'm
Well,
fine
we'll
with
see.
that. I
You've
was a
been
little bit close when both of
nah,
them.
fair enough. Yeah, so it looks like that's it for the evening. There were some rumblings of the teams wanting to go for a Rialto map 4, but that's over now. And we have just so you guys know, just chat, just so you guys are aware, with the issue of the players playing different roles here, we are going to have mods look into that. I believe that is
Yeah.
against league rules, but that's above my pay grade. But that is being looked into. Mods are definitely aware of the issue. I have been DM'd by like 40 different
Yeah, so have
people. I'm
I.
very popular. And your final results: NA Alt taking Valkyries for a sweep, 3-0, as NA Alt booked themselves a slot in the semifinals. And remember, of course, in our first semifinal of the night, we had Beast Edition taking the dub as well. Um, Once we get this spreadsheet updated, I can give you a better answer as to. I believe Pizza Planet Deep Dish uh, are all your third semifinalists. So it's just Joker's Wild playing Rogue Knights, I believe, Saturday, which I will be casting as
Pepega's
well.
one, not BE.
Yes, Pavega. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, my mistake. But Saturday coming up, we got Rogue Knight taking on Joker's Wild. So it'll be really interesting to see who that plays out and to see who our semifinalists are. Congratulations to NAL. Thank you, Valkyries, for putting up a fight. Your MVPs for the evening go to Kakashi, Sky Blue, and Buttweiser. Of course, shout out to Mr. Link doing some crazy stuff on the far as well. Um, Apologies for all the technical issues. We started the stream 4 separate times, and we'll iron those problems out eventually. Thank you, Siren. Thank you, Bleem, for joining me. I'm Charles Tang. Good night.
Okay, who wants to get